Right, so that's where Java comes in kind of fast, not too complicated, but
Kind of
you're
stuck
gonna
in the
eat that
middle of the
memory.
triangle.
I mean, even here, we've got, pretty good load on our back end, and our old code is Python. And when we moved the code from Python to Go, which is what we most use in the back end, we've saved tons of memory. But a server with, I think our current ones are 72 cores and a quarter terabyte of RAM is $8,000. So
That'll serve you for a long time.
we could buy about a dozen of those for a junior programmer, mid-level, I'm saying there. So.
And those will serve you for more than a year, right?
Yeah,
And
so I mean, we can just throw hardware at it, doesn't
So
matter.
meanwhile, if you're like Facebook or Google or someone who has literally tens of thousands of computers, those things make a difference. I mean, thinking back when I used to do more embedded stuff, there are engineers who would be given something like a printed circuit board and just were challenged to be able to remove 10 cents off of that or something because the volumes were so high that paid for his job.
Well,
And
we
when
get both of that because we do, we build devices too.
As I say, when I did hardware for defense, it was a totally different equation where they're glad to use super expensive FPGA because we're gonna make 12 of these. And at that point, the developer time and not having to respin the board, not having to do a new chip, that's all way worth.
I have a brother who used to work at L3 as electrical engineer.
That was me, L3.
And then he left to go work for Linear Technologies, which then got bought by Analog Devices. But it was okay. His whole job became to do the circuit. He wasn't a salesperson. He worked the salesperson. He would go into a company and he would solve their design problem for them. He would do the design problem for free. But by some coincidence, it just happened to use an awful lot of their premium chips in the design. So it's like, yeah, I'll do the engineering work for you for free as long as you take my design and use my parts. And it was a very good business model. He made a lot more money than I did. Because yes, the volumes of what they were talking about, it just did not make any sense to use a cheaper component. It was just the guarantee that it would work was enough.
Yeah, that's funny because you have to think you have
Is
to
it working?
explain to your boss and say why it's going to save us money or make us more money.
Thanks for testing.
I once worked for a startup where I did have a boss who was very smart because the original founders who were out of graduate school, they were used to having no money and they went dumpster diving for stuff to use. And the new owner boss came in and said, "Do you realize how much money I just paid you to go dumpster diving? Go buy something next time."
Yeah,
Time is our enemy, not money.
that is.
So, why don't we just go around the room and introduce everybody, and then maybe we can, I don't know, I mean, it's fine just to sit and chill. If anybody has a lightning presentation to do, that'd be awesome, otherwise I'm fine. Just to shoot the breeze and talk about work and talk about how we're using Rust and that sort of thing, and it'll just be a chillax month, and then hopefully next month we'll pick back up with some hard-hitting presentations.
So you can start with yourself.
Yeah.
You want to say who you are, AJ?
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, give me just 1 second, because I have the wrong camera here. Let me see if I can copy this, and then paste this, and then move this.
So online we've got L's Lehigh, I'm guessing.
What's that?
I was guessing you're Levi, that you're L.
Yeah, that's me. Yes. You can see a screen.
Ooh, picture.
Yeah, so this one should be the camera, and then the other one should be, should be that thing, yeah. Okay, so I'm AJ. I've done a few jobs in Rust, so I've gotten paid for Rust, which makes me a Rust developer. But I am the least of anyone here at the table, most likely. Oh, Ryan's. He probably has a better claim to being the least than I do. But I see Rust as fulfilling an important role in technology in the future moving forward, and I like to be where the ball is going, not where the ball has been. And so that's what brings me here. I'm still waiting a little bit before I go full in and be a true Rust developer, but I'm learning and paying attention to things as they happen and meeting with all of you great people, so that hopefully we can work together on fun stuff in the years to come. I'm a technophobic technologist and a wrong thinker.
Truth.
Truth.
Have you got a camera?
Oh, sorry. Oh, you guys don't see that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so if you join in on Twitch,
I'm sure we could make this more complicated if we tried.
yeah.
Just share the window,
Is it this
screen.
It might be sacrilegious, but next time we could probably actually share out the Teams meeting since this is a Teams room. I mean, I do kind of hate Teams, but it is an option.
Okay, there we go.
Sure, we have to
Did you
build
prefer-
a camera
prefer-
again.
Did you prefer Skype?
Hey, lighting sub.
I prefer Slack to Teams,
Yes, I would agree
but
with that.
Teams are definitely a step up from Skype.
Slack is a much better chat client.
Discord's
Teams is
above
a
it
much
all.
better video client.
So, and if you feel comfortable while introducing yourself, those of you that are right master, if you feel comfortable while introducing yourselves, I mean, you don't have to do it now. I'm just saying while, when you introduce yourself so that we can hear you better and so that we can see you, so we can recognize you. I have a really hard time recognizing people in general.
We're just respecting the door when we came in.
Sure.
We can take it off.
Sure.
We're
I'm just, I want everybody to do what they feel comfortable, distance however you feel comfortable, whatever you want to do. I'm very libertarian, so I don't want to try to make anybody feel uncomfortable. I'm just suggesting that so that, for the benefit of those of us that want to see your face during the moment of introduction.
So in other words, his turn.
Yeah, so it is your
So in
turn.
other
No pressure. I just, if that's, live your best life,
And
whichever
now
way you want to
me.
live.
So I'm Matt Fry, I work here at Vivint.
Yeah,
I have
thanks for
never
hosting.
developed in Rust, but I've looked at the tutorials several times. And I want to learn Rust and then try and convince my team to use Rust.
Wait, why do you want to do that if you don't know it yet? How do you know it's good enough?
Oh, I've been a C++ developer for like 12 years.
Oh, you have
That's-
people on your team doing
that's-
C++?
That's enough.
Y'all should have switched to Rust.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, C++, Python, JavaScript, is what I'm developing in right now.
And of course, just so we're all clear, YouTube, we're recording YouTube, nothing to worry about there, but this does all go to the NSA data center as well. So for the record, would you say your name?
Matt Fry.
Matt Fry, okay, because I missed it the first time.
They might have too. But if your Android is recording anyways.
The NSA knows who I am
And
already.
they don't miss anything.
Good.
Wait,
Good,
how
okay.
many of us were at the Python at the Point for lunch in that same building today? Okay,
I did not go to that one.
alright, fair, alright, good to know.
Yeah.
I guess Jeff Poole, so I also work here at Vivint, and people started saying, hey, we need places to host meetups, and so I started volunteering, and so now I'm spending an awful lot of my time ordering food and letting people in and things like that, but my team generally doesn't use Rust, though we do have some exceptions, which I think was mostly that we were willing to justify writing security critical code in Rust.
Oh, yeah.
So that seemed like that was a reasonable trade-off, but mostly our legacy codes, Python, our newer codes Go. But I did check because people were asking, I think we've got at least 3 job openings here that mention Rust in them, and I know our camera team does it for some embedded firmware, aside from the random services we have running in Rust. So my experience is pretty much I've done a tutorial in Rust, and I've occasionally I submitted a logging change to our Rust code base, so that might count me as a professional Rust developer as well. It was involved a macro, it was crazy, so yeah, so that's me.
I'm Brooke, basically ditto everything Jeff said.
That's cheating.
You also do logging.
Come on.
She's on a different team.
You also,
I'm
you
on
also
a
do
different
logging.
team, but it's the same stack, it's the same repositories, we're doing the same stuff, it's just using the
How
same
big is
infrastructure.
Vivint now in terms of engineers or yearly revenue?
That's a great question.
I'm sure, Google probably has the answer on yearly revenue.
Yeah.
I think this building, I hear roughly 250 people, but, you know, that includes the product people, and it's hard to tell exactly what the balance
Only
is.
250 people in the building this big?
I think it has a capacity for 400.
Who's all at
Something
Vivint?
like that.
Just
I think
three of
just
us.
three.
Three of us.
Yeah.
Vivint
Speaking
corner
of-
over here.
Matt, that keypad ticket, I'm gonna ping you again and again.
Okay.
The keypad name, I need it.
Okay.
So I think you guys have a late arrival there. If you check Discord, there's somebody asking where the room is.
Okay.
Oh,
Ooh.
I can go,
Let me in.
Okay,
Thanks for keeping an eye on
so, our next contestant,
Yeah. All right. My name's Dallin. I work for a startup that has nothing to do with Rust. We're just a company, a translation company, that does web stuff. As far as Rust goes, I dabble. Done a couple projects. This guy got me into it. We're good buddies. I've made a one-line PR to a library, so that's pretty intense. Kind of pro. Yeah, other than that, honestly, just kind of, I really enjoy learning languages and stuff, so it's just kind of cool to come.
Where do you work? Sorry, I missed it.
It's called Transit Energy. It's a translation startup.
Cool. I'm Michael
Wait,
Erlinger.
say your name again?
Yeah, move
Down.
the camera.
Down. What?
The camera's still pointed at Jeff. and Brooke.
Oh.
Kind of gets all of us.
You can see me. It's all good.
Yeah.
Oh. There we go. Now I've pointed it.
Oh,
Should be-
right.
and you're getting
Two
neither.
cameras. What
No.
was I thinking?
Yeah, so the idea was, well, I need to test out the setup anyway, but the idea for this is that when we have presenters, the presenter just plugs into HDMI and then I point this at them and then I manage the chat when questions come in and stuff and all that. That's the idea behind it, but well actually maybe, let me see if I can just switch this over to use that same other camera and then I can actually do that. I gotta figure out how to allow people that are online to participate in real time because you get a 10-second delay on YouTube's and all that. But let me see.
Once you figure that out, you should probably market that technology.
So will this let me? Okay, here's what we're gonna try to do here. Let me press this button.
Hey.
okay.
But it's
we can see it.
backward.
So, we spoke to Dallin,
Yeah, definitely.
right? And now
Thanks.
we have,
Hi, I'm Michael. I have been using Rust probably as my default passion project language for the past 2 years. I would not say that I'm professional by any means though. I've been trying to break into the world of async Rust, and so that's kind of been my the place I've been doing most of my time Rust-wise. I am between jobs right now and working on passion projects.
You wanna work at Vivint?
I would certainly consider it.
We've got so many open decks.
we do.
Well, now that I've heard you guys have some Rust stuff,
Not
could have my interest.
extensively, but
Yeah.
do you like Go?
I think it's cool if not missing a couple things.
Write a library.
It's better than C. I'll take it any day over C.
generics.
Generics.
I am so
Those are
sad
talks,
that those are being added. Was it next week?
The proposal's already been like accepted, right? So it should be soon.
It is in 1.18.
Yeah.
It is final, and that makes me so sad because now instead of Go packages being focused on something that's worthwhile, we're going to have the ecosystem flooded with garbage. But hopefully,
But good garbage.
no,
It's a good thing there's
It's okay, it's got a
garbage
garbage filter. Yeah.
but
Somebody
I'm,
had to say it.
I'm hoping that there's enough of a precedent and enough of a history of good Go code that people won't start developing Lodash and buffer libriaries for Go.
Oh goodness.
Okay.
But
I also kind of missed like
Never seen
that they
someone
have
control
nil as a
themselves
bummer. And,
so
control myself. What do you mean?
yes, like you brought up this topic and you were like already flaming yourself.
I'm not flaming myself. I didn't say that I did something wrong.
No, he's not afraid to challenge his own technologies.
Yeah, I have no allegiance to Go. It's just one of the best technologies out there. Like Rust, one of the best technologies out there. They both have failings.
Okay. My name is Daryl Spencer. I'm the manager of a software development group in a biotech startup in downtown Salt Lake. We make a machine that we sell for about $500,000 that helps pharmaceutical people develop immunotherapies using antibodies. Our stuff was used, in fact, with some COVID research lately when that became big. And I had to process some video data at 150 frames per second, real time, and I thought the C# code was not going to do it fast enough and was going to use too much memory, so I really didn't want to go back to C++, so I decided to try this Go thing, wrote 1,000 lines of code Go in Rust, and have I haven't done any networking stuff because I'm actually a DLL called by the C# code, but I had to bang my head against